This is the Memory of the X-Men. Welcome to 1407 Great Malkin Lane. Today we're doing Chopping It Up with the Red Queen of X on. She's a fantastic Instagram. I love her stuff.
Thank you.
Come on down. Hey,
thank you.
The Red Queen of X. We actually we do basically we're judging comic book characters. we take lately we just did the Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
Beast is next, and I'm just like, that's kind of hard. It's really hard to be his friend.
Yeah, it's, I realized that a lot of my love of certain characters really came from the animated series. And I think the animated series did a good job capturing the essence of those characters, but it unfairly rose tinted them too. Because I never knew Xavier was such a jackass until we did the trial of Xavier. And then I was like, I nope.
I mean, he's as much of a jackass as much as any other parent. I mean, but he's arrogant. I understand where he's got. He comes with the best intentions. I mean, he opened his house.
I think that's the thing. He does have good intentions, but at the same time, some of the stuff he does. And you know what? Let's not kid ourselves. If we had his power, we would be doing all kind of terrible shit.
Oh, that's like. And also, right, and think about it. He came up with the fake ethics for telepaths that Betsy, Rachel, Monet, they all kind of follow. So thank you for his patriarchy and instilling into all these female telepaths. Do not read everyone's mind just because.
I don't know if patriarchy is the right word, but
right.
I mean, there definitely should be, when you have that kind of raw power,
right,
you should definitely have a standard to hold yourself to.
Right.
And even though he violates the standard a lot, it's still a good standard to try to attain. It's kind of like the promise of America, right? Like, this is a terrible country. It's a terrible history. I love this country. This is where I was born. My family was born. My grandparents and great grandparents were born. Right. But we have survived some serious shit, right? Right. But there is a promise, of what it should be. And we are failing miserably, but we should try to get there.
To quote Chris Rock, he said, America is kind of like that uncle that paid your way through college, but molested you.
Yeah, basically. But they haven't paid for anything. So you screwed me in a terrible way, and you haven't given me the promise.
I mean, you gave me the education, though. Like, thank you. I have a nice job because of you, kind of, because you're guilt trip.
No,
it's weird.
I got my job because I worked my ass off.
But you were funded.
And nobody handed me a thing. I did all that by myself.
Right.
So yeah, screw you, America.
We
Love
gave
you anyway.
The freedom to do it. Really? Gave you the freedom. Wow.
Yeah, and taught me wrong. Right. How much crap did we learn was wrong? Everything about history is all wrong.
That's the funny part. That's why when you go into that's why in school history was always seen as like a boring subject. No, you got to really know the drama, and then it gets really interesting.
I got to give it to my 8th grade history teacher, because Mrs. Colleen, I don't know if you're still living, but God bless you, because she taught us all kinds of insane shit. And we're just staring at her in horror, like nobody ever told us this. But she really opened up my eyes to the shenanigans that were going on. And that was when I started really learning. Like, I was going to the library and reading history books and finding out real shit. Thank you so much for opening my brain to that.
My grandmother got it for me. She was a teacher, and but she was one of those really kind of mean teachers. She worked in the juvenile hall, and she was tough. She was Hannibal Lecter, seriously. She had hardened thugs yes, Miss Reed.
Yeah.
It's but she always kind of instilled us, research everything. Don't believe anybody's word but your own, and just
Right.
go into it. And a lot of my family, they're historians, so I start getting like facts from them, just kind of like figuring out where to go. And wow, America's history is so bloody. It's so mean. Like, all right, I found this out like a couple years ago. It still blows my mind. There was this little program where you could pay the government $5 and you can just claim to be Native American. That blows my. They call it $5 Indian, and I tried to talk to people about it, and they're like, "What?" And then and now every time like I hear that person is Native, I'm like, "You sure?" Like, like I
Well,
don't want to be rude, but like,
I mean, people who have recent Native ancestry, they will tell you what tribe they're from and who they know and, all this kind of stuff. But if you just say I'm Cherokee, like I'm looking at you real sus, like, no, you're not.
like, like,
Everybody's Cherokee. I want to be Kickapoo because those motherfuckers never surrendered. They never surrendered.
I wouldn't mind being Apache. Like they're tough.
Eh.
Like Warpath is one. Like John, I put that on John Proudstar. Sounds like a slant. Sounds like a slogan now. Like you put something on John Proudstar. You better be telling the truth. Like
Yeah.
just put that on John Proudstar. We haven't even seen him yet.
I know.
We haven't even seen him yet.
And who knows if we're going to? Thanks a lot, Sinister. So, as to the reason we're here today,
right? Okay. Let's just jump into it. Inferno. How'd you feel about it? How do you feel about it so far?
I was immediately floored that it didn't happen at all the way I assumed it was going to go down. I'm imagining Mystique burning shit down. No, I should have known better. Mystique is a schemer, and she's going to do what she's got to do to get what she needs done. And she's going to be sly about it. And this woman is sharper than a fox. Like the level of scheming that she has had to do.
Shenanigans. She just
oh my God. Like, she's like, I don't have to burn anything down. Are you kidding? I like Krakoa, but my bitch is gonna be here with me, and we're finna we're finna be the rulers of this whole island. Screw y'all.
No, and how she got the 5 to go along with it. She's I'm like, you bitch, you conniving, manipulative, brilliant what? Bitch.
I'm not mad at Mystique. I'm not mad at Mystique. I'm like, that was amazing.
Asshole.
But I had to think about it. I was like, Hope is not asking any questions here. Like, she's not asking any questions. Who's she syncing with? Where is she pulling the power from?
Wow,
wouldn't she have to know where to pull it from? Or is she just pulling it from the air?
I think because they're at the height of their powers. I think she can probably gain residual, like
yeah,
kind of
but
mimic.
still, like that made me kind of go, wait a minute. It's not that I don't. I mean, obviously, Hope is very talented, right?
Yeah.
Well, she's portrayed as being
do their job in one. All right, just saying.
Yeah, she probably could, but that would probably burn her out too. I mean, Well, I mean, what's his name? Oh boy, he burns a body out like every day.
Oh, Proteus.
Yeah, he burns himself out every day. So if she tried to do it, it'd be too much. But the point is, she's got to know on some level that's not Xavier, but she's also not afraid to say, fuck it. I'm going to do what I think that the 5 needs to do to make this shit happen. Girl, you go.
Wow, but she's okay with doing this. But like when Xavier was going to Magneto's mind looking for the information about the Scarlet Witch in Trial of Magneto, she's quick to say, that's torture. What the wow. Wow, you're okay.
But she's not reading, she's just using the power. She's not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. But anyway, look, I have loved Mystique since X-Men Unlimited #4. I say this all the time. I watched her beat a man to death with a lamp, and it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen at that point in my life.
She beat his ass all in the head and ass.
I mean, she took him out. She was just like, not only am I going to take you out, I'm going to make you eat my heel while I'm doing it. Like,
okay. Like,
okay.
she went to the school of Ike Turner. Like, Ike Turner learned from her. She'll just like, I like it.
You know, Graydon Creed gets his badness honestly. Like, Mystique is your mom and Creed is your dad. Oh, you had no choice but to be.
I mean, I'm surprised he's not on anybody's registry. That's what I'm surprised. I mean, considering that he's
he's dead now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's dead. I mean, but like considering that he's a presidential candidate. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, in the 90s,
I don't know.
We had standards, I guess. I don't know. It was between Clinton and Bob Dole, and Bob Dole had that whole thing about Viagra or something. And he was just he kept on saying his name, Bob Dole. Bob Dole likes this. Yeah. Bob Dole like, and that's from all I know from The Simpsons. Oh, what really got me though was Nightcrawler siding with Mystique, which why?
I'm so disappointed. Like,
right.
I'm like, okay, you know what? I could imagine Nightcrawler ruminating over it, like really thinking about it, right? But for him to say, you know, it's gonna please you, Mom. Who cares?
No, that is not your mother.
Yeah, that's not your mom. That's your mother, but she is not your mom. Right. She literally has never done anything for you.
She cuts him down every time they talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like, she likes the girl more
than he makes this face too. He makes this face like he has just smelled something horrible, like some sulfur or something. But then he's like, you know what? It's going to please me to please you. No, Nightcrawler, you know better. You know better than that. You know, philosophically, this is bad.
See, this is one of those times where Kurt needs him some black friends in order to tell him when stuff is not appropriate. Like, bro, no, don't do that. Yeah. Remember the time when she threw you off a waterfall?
Storm should have just reached out and just popped him one right there.
Right? No, like somebody should say, hey, remember that time where she stabbed you and she shot you and she shot you, and that other time she stabbed you, or
that time she threw you in the river,
right? Or
when you were just a baby,
right? Or the fact that she's banged most of your friends,
yeah,
in spite, just and now you're seeing her with her lover, like the one that my friend Silver always says this. The fun thing about Mystique is that anytime she shows that she cares about somebody, she really shows how much she ain't shit ever. Like, she's just.
I'm pretty sure the only people she's ever loved are Rogue and Destiny. Is she still treats Rogue like crap?
She impersonated a 17-year-old girl to like not only break up her relationship, but probably hopefully she can get a Gambit arrested.
I hope Gambit said no. Like, they never really answer it.
Well, it was like we know who the writers were, so we all really win.
But I have this much faith in Gambit that he said no.
I mean, Gambit stopped seeing her for a long time afterwards, and he really started working on. He got the cats after breaking up with her. So
yeah,
maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe because I don't think she would have done that if he had. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't want to go into it because it grosses me out. Like, there's so much stuff that grosses me out.
No. I just want to see somebody go like, I want to see Destiny meet Azazel. They're like,
that was just a mess.
He'll say something, she'll say something, and he said like, yeah, but at least I left something.
Ugh. I can't with that whole story. Like, that was so
still gross. It's like I knew, and that was gross.
Yeah, it was very, very gross.
Just how you liking the series so far? I mean, it's good.
You know, it's not, like I said, I thought we were going to build up to something and then Mystique was going to burn some shit down, but obviously that's not happening.
Ooh.
But because it's not happening, I'm actually I actually really enjoy it. Like, we're unpeeling an onion here. So we're getting this happening, and then we peel a layer, and then this other thing happens, and then we peel a layer. And now Emma's like, screw you, Xavier and Magneto, you both suck. And I'm like, hell to the yes.
But it's not really their fault, though. This is Moira's plan. They are henchmen.
But they went along with it.
What? Well, Magneto, he's like, really? I have no issue with Mystique Destiny. Really, I never had an issue. I don't even really know girl like that. Really.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's always kind of something that's people really misconstrue. Magneto and Mystique have never worked together. Not really.
Yeah,
like,
not
even
really.
She took the name without asking him, and he was still kind of pissed about that. Like, I came up with the name, I came up with the concept, and you just took it. Wow.
It's been a long time since they've done really much of anything together. And I think he knows he can't really trust her. But as far as Destiny goes, he's like, well, you know what? You're a mutant and it's fine. But Xavier has a lot of culpability here. And Moira, I really don't know what to think of Moira. I mean,
this is Moira's plan. Oh, this is Moira's plan.
Yeah, and now the plan is dust.
Not really. It's still there. It's like, it's just the top stuff is changing. I mean, like we all know North Star is going to be happy about this because he doesn't like Xavier and Magneto for some reason. We know that the New Mutants are okay with it because they don't like Xavier and Magneto for some reason. I don't know. Apparently, there's all this mistrust with Xavier that I really don't see where it's coming from. Like, this is the guy who opened his home to you when you were just taking out example, Danny Moonstar, when you were screaming in a mine shaft, scared that a demon bear was coming to get you. Who got you out of it? Xavier. Who gave you a home? Xavier.
But it's just like that thing we just talked about. You know, you invite somebody into your home, but then you manipulate the crap out of them and gaslight them and mistreat them. And it's like, Xavier, what are you doing here? What's going on?
Parents.
Yeah. But you know, Danny, the one thing about Danny specifically, and I always say this, is that from the get-go, she was like, I'm not your puppet. Fair. Screw you. I'm gonna dress the way I want. I'm gonna do what I need to do. She's got leadership skills out the yin yang. Sure. And she was never gonna be that girl that was a yes girl to Xavier. And he was real creepy with Danny too. Like, he was creepy with Jean, but he was equally creepy. He was so creepy with Danny. Oh, it was disgusting. I get sick. Like, who thought this was okay to put in a
Claremont? Claremont's creepy. We're seeing all
but editorial let it in the book.
It was, I don't know. It was the 80s. It was a really creepy time. I mean, the Karate Kid, the kid almost got killed a couple of times by falling off a hill or something. I never seen it.
I don't know. It was the 80s were a weird, you're right. They were a weird time. I mean, and but still, like, oh, this is disgusting. Like, even then it was gross, and now it's even grosser. And I'm
we let it happen. We saw what happened with Michael Jackson. We let it happen. I don't know. The hair thing.
I don't know. Yeah.
Colossus joining the council.
Yes. So I don't think Xavier knows that Colossus is being manipulated.
Right. Okay. See, this is what I keep talking about. Everybody keeps saying that Xavier's like, he's super creepy. Like, he's not looking at anybody's mind all the time. If that was the case, he would have, a few of this, like the Shadow King would have been picked up by now. The Chronic, like what happened with Colossus would have been happened by now. Like, he's
distracted. He's got his finger in a lot of pies, and he's not paying attention to the pies that are only half baked.
hey, those pies that they are very important pies. They are like he just helped create another planet, and now he has to deal with like humanity. Like, okay, Orcus. Can we just talk about okay.
I don't even know how Orcus still. I mean, honestly, you have this entire island full of super powerful mutants, plus the Iraqi mutants. Right. You're gonna tell me y'all can't destroy Orcus?
No, okay, they tried to. They tried to.
They tried to.
Okay, I mean, you can't just. Okay, also you got to remember, you can't just ask certain mutants to do this, because certain mutants are going to get all butthurt about it. If you ask Jean to do it, she will feel some sort of way about it. If you ask,
well, Jean was in one of the early missions and died trying to stop Orcus, so
true,
she's gotten a little tougher. I'll give her that.
Yeah, but also like her on X-Force was kind of like a knee-jerk reaction to getting killed.
Send like, Emma. Do you think Emma's gonna lose?
Oh, yes, she has lost. She lost her body after she got caught with Scott. She lost Scott to Jean. Wow. I mean, she loses to Jean a lot.
Wow.
I mean,
that's a whole different bag of worms.
Emma Frost, council member, side chick. She is forever the side. Oh my. She's the it's a Dune thing. Who is the concubine? What? It doesn't matter. Nobody cares about the concubine. I'm sorry. I love Emma, but like she's a side chick. I want.
She is a side chick, but her level of scheming since the House of X started is almost as much as Mystique's. I mean, she's got her fingers in a lot of pies too, but she's keeping better track. She knows where all of her pies are.
Does she though?
I think she does.
All right.
I think she does.
Hey, I'm just saying, Emma schemes like a side chick. And this is from years of watching Buffy. No, I was kidding. No, it's just, Emma, I want to see what Emma is actually doing, because it seems like she spends most of her time getting drunk, getting hungover, making Google eyes at Scott, and then just.
I disagree. I don't think that. I mean, just the stuff that she's done we've seen her doing.
Yes.
Since the House of X started, not before that, because before that was mess.
Yeah. Let's talk about how she wiped all the memories of mutant kind from humanity, which actually kind of worked. It was a good plan. It was a good plan. I'm just saying, it was a good plan.
I don't disagree. I mean, the question is why it failed, and now we're back to square one.
Hickman, when all the mutants came back
to square one. And now, like I said, I love this idea of Krakoa, but at the same time, it's just like Genosha. You have painted a big target on this group. Same thing with Utopia, right? It's a big red target. What? It's a flashing light saying, come break this.
No, it's not. It's not. No, it's I'm looking at it kind of like Malcolm X looking out that photo of him looking out the window, like, try me. I want you to try. That's what
they are. But they are. That's why we have Orcus. And that's, and then we have freaking Alpha Flight helping Orcus. Like, what the hell is up with that?
Gyrick is getting he's going for bitch of the year. I'm telling you, he's making these are some great plays. Like, Gyrick's coming back strong. He's showing that he is mutants' number one enemy. It's scary. It's
terrifying. And I'm watching Vindicator, like, dude, you and Wolverine were like BFFs forever. I mean, even when you fight, it's more like brother versus brother than enemy versus enemy. You know what I mean?
When he's not macking on his wife.
Yeah, well, that's understandable. That's a whole different thing.
Like, Scott and Jean are the second couple that he's been a part of a three-way with. Let's not forget about that.
Wolverine is just a hound. He's just a hound. He's banged literally almost everybody.
Except Kitty. Ugh.
Well, Kitty and Jubilee. They're the only two. Because even Rogue, like,
that was weird. But also Magneto hit it too. First. Magneto hit it first.
Gross.
Yeah, that's what I said. But also remember who wrote that? Claremont.
I know. Claremont is, as much as I love him, he is very problematic. But but Vindicator is sitting there and like, he's like, yeah, Gyrick, we should do this. Like, what are you doing? I hope Wolverine finds you and rips you a new one, because you deserve it.
I don't understand why humanity's feeling so weird about Mars. They weren't doing anything with it. Like, like Gyrick is such a hater. I don't
and you know,
get
it's
it.
different. Like when Magneto had Asteroid M,
Yeah,
he was literally up there. He has said how many times, I'm a threat to you. I'm gonna destroy you if I get the chance. So yeah, he's got this asteroid and it's like facing the Earth. Yeah, we're gonna be nervous about that because we don't know what you're doing up there. That's completely different from what's happening on Mars. Mars is just terraformed, and now there's people that you don't want. You don't want these people on this planet. They are there where they should be.
right.
You should have no problem with this.
They are like, oh yeah, they are probably, you do not want them on Earth. We see how a couple, we have Solemn right now. He is a handful. Like, you do not want, just
like hide your kids, hide your wife. You don't want Solemn on this Earth.
He's Oberyn Martell of the Marvel Universe. I'm pretty sure, like, oh, okay. Like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be the first person to like seduce Reed and Sue Richards. It's gonna happen.
It wouldn't surprise me. But you know like, what? God loves Sue because you know Reed is not good for her.
Okay. I think Sue's a little bit cappy. I think she just likes to complain because I think Reed, like, I think he does what he does, and then like he's like, okay, I do this one time, and I gotta focus on saving the universe because Sue wants all his attention when he's saving the universe. Every 20 minutes, he's saving the universe.
But he treats her like, I mean, he really mistreats her. He does. I mean, maybe not recently.
She likes it.
I was kind of glad when Fantastic Four ended because I was just like, I've had enough of his crap.
We were talking about what Sue's doing with Johnny, though? Like, she is, wow. Let the man grow up.
Sometimes you can't with your little brother, though.
No,
I'm a big sister.
He's
so
a 35-year-old man.
Doesn't matter. The dynamic is still there.
And he had a good relationship with that angel girl. But it's like, oh, I'm gonna stop this soulmate nonsense. I'm like, wow. Like you all right, so it's basically been established that Sue has ruined all of Johnny's relationships. So, like, what is her criteria? Like, how much has she seen? Like, she's gross. She's problematic. The invisible Karen is what we like to call her.
Well, she's probably that way because that's the only way she has control over anything, with Reed doing all his shenanigans.
It's not cheating on her. The only thing he's cheating on her is with the universe.
I mean, it's not just about cheating, but anyway, I digress. We'll be here all night.
Oh, I skipped last week and just like the X-Men are back. We're back strong. Even like Marauders was, oh God, it was low key decent.
You know, it wasn't the strongest that like
art.
It started. You know, like it started out really strong. I was really digging some of the stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
But literally, I felt like I read 3 pages and then the story was done, and I was like, okay, that ends that.
I feel like Marauders would do better if it was written by Chris Claremont. Like, just get him if you have him on retainer, give him a book. Give him a book that he could have all his favorite characters. It would be just like 2001 all over again. They don't need to matter. Marauders barely matters now.
I don't know. It was fine. It was fine. I'll just say that. It was
fine. But like everything about it just seems like something Chris Claremont would do. Just like, yes. I don't Wolverine is getting better. The art.
Wolverine has had its ups and downs, but this week was a really good, like, okay. Jeff. I love Jeff. Like, if you're in the Marvel universe and your name is Jeff, whether you're a man or a shark, you're probably a-okay in my book.
Oh, okay. Can we talk about the Green Lagoon? Okay. All right. Reason why Wolverine beats out Inferno for me is because we saw Jean and Storm sing a 90s R&B song that totally totally like clarify, like it totally tells me that they do like R&B. So in a roundabout way, they like In Vogue and Salt and Pepper. They are secret, or I think they're secret rap fans.
Possibly.
Like,
but that was such a nice moment. Like, first of all, I never imagined I would see them doing that ever.
Right? Tony Braxton?
Right.
That's a deep dig too.
It was definitely deep. And to see, well, and this is the thing about Gene and Storm. We are constantly told they're BFFs, but we never see them doing anything together.
It's rare. It's very
so rare, and it's not fair. Like, come on, I need to see my girls just hamming it up occasionally together by themselves. But this shows this is showing. This is how you do it when you're telling us that characters are BFFs and you want to show it, not tell it. This is what you do, because they are completely in sync when they're coming to make these songs.
I'm really surprised they didn't do In Sync. I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised.
That would have been Cyclops. Cyclops would have been doing In Sync.
Like, I always thought, is there nobody on the X-Men that likes rap? Like, nobody likes rap? Like, nobody? Like, come on. Somebody has to like Beast has to like Wu-Tang at least.
Cyclops secretly likes NWA, but they won't show that.
Hey, you know what? It totally makes sense.
It would make sense.
I mean,
I'd be down with that.
Hey, I'm actually working on these playlists on like the New Mutants and like what music they would listen to, like what rap they would listen to. It's kind of like Danny likes Run the Jewels. she likes that I want to fight, like because she likes to fight.
Danny does. You know what? And that's one of the reasons I love her, because she doesn't just fight for absolutely no reason, but you give her the right push, she's going to take you down. Hope.
Right.
Bye, Hope.
Oh, jeez.
That was fun. And I like Hope most of the time. She was real bratty. She was real bratty.
Like, my dad's the best warrior in the universe. Cyclops, yeah. I trained your dad.
And it was sad. Yeah, it was so sad that, again, this is Marvel telling us that she's a badass, not showing us, because they never showed us.
No.
They never showed us. And Danny was like, I got something for you. Pop.
Right. Oh, I found wait, dang. Yeah. Gene and Storm are besties. I think they like to get in a car sometimes, like, and listen to some like, go on a road trip and just put on whatever's on.
See, they should do that at the end of every like book, right? Like, okay, in the off time when there's no action, what are the X-Men doing? Storm is probably naked while watering her plants, and Jean is in the background and they're singing together.
Okay, all right. I can totally see Storm and Jean both in the attic listening to A Tribe Called Quest. Like, I think Storm
would like to be shown that.
Right.
I would like to be shown that.
Like, no. And they're singing along too, back and forth. They're doing the lyrics.
Yeah. Because that's what you do when you're hanging out with your BFF.
Right. You're just like, nobody knows about this, right? Yeah. We're not telling anybody about this. It's just those little silly moments that they don't do. We're supposed to know. We're supposed to see that Kitty and Rachel and Kitty and Liana are best friends, but like, we never really see it. We just we
don't see it anymore. And I mean, that's something that I really miss from old school X-Men. We used to see the X-Men like hanging out at Harry's Hideaway, and like they had like their spots.
Right.
What's their spot now? They don't have one except for the lagoon. But they should have like a page at the end of every book of them hanging out in the lagoon doing whatever. And can I say, Blob looked pretty good. Like, Fred, you're doing it, buddy. You're doing it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he and Betsy are exchanging late night text.
They should be, because she does not need to be hanging out with Pete Wisdom. I don't like that guy. This is the guy for her.
It's all right.
He's all right. I just don't like him. I don't like them.
That's fair. I mean, like, he'd stop smoking. So. I want to see Archangel try to hit on Betsy, but then realizes he likes Quanon. He's like, oh my god, I didn't know I was into Asian women.
You know,
that'd be really funny, because like
that would be interesting. Like, how much of you is attracted to their brain versus their body? Because I think for most of us, it's both.
Right.
Like when we like our partner, there's something there physically for us to, unless you know them beforehand.
Right.
There's something physical there first, and then you do the courting.
Right.
And he courted her in a completely different body.
I mean, but here's the thing though, we didn't really see them see the initial stuff. We just saw them like, hey, we're on a date. Like, we never saw them like, hey, Betsy, you want to go out and do something? Like, we never saw them we never saw the attraction build, because
I think that Warren is the kind of dude that just wakes up and he's like, today I think it's this chick. He doesn't have to do anything. And she was just like, I ain't got nothing better to do.
I mean, she got,
but they had a good time in her red dress.
Yeah, hey, she looked good in that red dress. I mean, all right, a lot of people don't like Betsy because she took, think that she was yellow facing. I don't know what's going on with that, but she was a victim, and she started to enjoy the body. Like, hey, this is actually kind of nice. This is nice.
And I think that's why there was such an intense reaction when the status quo happened, because you're in this body and you're enjoying it, and you've picked up all these ninja skills, right? And I mean, like, your brain is kind of like the whole, Jean and Madeline thing.
Right.
Once you know something, you can't not know it anymore. Right. So you can take the memories out, but you still remember that you had those memories, right? So you've spent all this time as this sexy Asian ninja, and now you're just white again? No, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. It was real annoying.
Yeah. No, okay, but I liked it when they were starting to lean into the mystical side of it, when she got that mark, the Crimson Dawn.
The Crimson, yeah.
That was really cool. And then Claremont, because it's really annoying that he does this. Nothing has happened to them since last he had them. So he was like, hey, all that other stuff that happened to you, gone.
Yeah. And you can't do that to a character. And it is what it is. I mean,
it's annoying.
We have it, and we have the aftermath, and then now we have the resolution.
Yes.
And I'm still real annoyed that Betsy's all of a sudden super British now. It's just annoying. It just really makes me mad.
That's where she's from, though. That she's repping.
It is. But why wasn't she super British in an Asian body? That's where the yellow face comes in.
Oh, I thought she was, because sometimes she would say I don't know, she would say
but
things
the weaponry, I don't know.
Right, yeah.
It's just bad. It's just a bad look.
Yeah.
And again, we're back to, you can't forget what you know. And you know that, and you were there, and you had that. Right. And and even Quanon, she had Betsy's memories of being super British. I want to see her on occasion sitting down with a cup of tea with her little pinky up, drinking like a proper British lady, right? Because that's something that she would remember.
Right. I thought she did, though, when she joined up in the back in the early 90s as a Ravon.
She did. Well, because at that time, the story went that they both had each other's memories. Right. They were both each other and not each other. Right. And I don't think that should ever have been retconned, because again, once you know something, you can't not know it.
It's Pandora's box. Yeah. That's how I always see them. They were both victims of Mojo and the Hand, which I've always wondered, why is Quanon mad at Betsy? Why don't they just team up and go after the Hand?
Well, it's just like when somebody cheats on you with your boyfriend, you're mad at them instead of your boyfriend. It's the same dynamic. It's stupid, but that's just the way that it is.
No, you kill everybody. You take out everybody involved. You take them out, Kill Bill style.
You should take them all out. You should be pissed off at your boyfriend too. But I mean, I understand the misplaced anger.
Kill Mojo. I'm okay with killing Mojo. Like
I would love to never see Mojo ever.
Mojo is scary because he's so real. He's basically a TV exec, and he's just doing cocaine all the time. He's like, that is scary to me.
Yeah,
like he's way more scary than Mr. Sinister. Just,
I don't know. Sinister is equally scary to me because he's creepy.
I would punch him in the face. I would club punch him.
Did he just take your DNA off his nose and
no, actually,
go do something?
I'll make it like it's like a chocolate frosting. And he's like, "Oh, I got your DNA. Oh, it's chocolate frosting, bitch!" Wow. And like he'd be on the ground, I'd be in the car, he'd be trying to figure out what just happened. Like I'm pretty sure people would applaud me or start like trying to make videos like anytime they see Sinister, he's about to get punched in the face.
Yeah. If only. Jesus.
Just he's such an asshole.
He is. And the fact that he's on the council, and I understand the power dynamics behind it. This is why I don't like politics, because you have to be in bed with some dusty ass people, right? Like, why is he on the council? Well, because we need his genetic vaults or whatever. Ew, you can't just like take them. You're mutants.
No, they can't because Essex and his crazy ass, he probably has a failsafe. If anything happens to him, it'll go over.
Well, we all know that he's got like 25 bazillion clones of himself.
Right. And so,
but yeah, like and I guess he's basically the ultimate Russian nesting doll. You chop one off and then one comes back.
Well, this is my plan. You wait and you bring back all the mutants back on the mutant cube. And then we have throw this big party. You say like Krakoa is finally a fully functional nation where all the mutants are back. And that's when we would have Beast or somebody competent, maybe like Dr. Nemesis, get all the DNA of everybody in attendance. And then as soon as you got everything secured, you store it. And then you go after Sinister, saying like, and you destroy everything he has. And he's like, "Oh, what's going on? Like we've been playing this, bitch." People will buy tickets to that, and like it's like people were mad at Apocalypse, and Sinister is like, "Why is Apocalypse and Sinister?" Like, okay, first of all, Apocalypse played ball from the jump. Like, yeah, he was trying to get a Rocco, but hey, he was helping everybody out in the long run. Like it got hey, Krakoa's in a better place after he left. Just saying, popular. Like nowadays, like now I read his old stories, it's just like, oh, you big lug, you crazy. Oh man. Hey, you're just cranky. Just calm down for a minute. Just leave me alone.
And maybe I would feel, I don't know, less sanguine about Apocalypse if I hadn't seen the future where he's like murdering mutants left and right. And it's just bad. It's just bad. Like, these are your own people and you're talking about survival of the fittest, which I get, but now you've created this super terrible society. It's basically Age of Apocalypse, but not Age of Apocalypse. And it's just bad. Everything is bad and you suck.
He tries. He's trying. Now he's getting his Thanos on. He saw what Thanos did in Endgame, and he's probably gonna take up gardening, being a good husband to his wife and kids. Like,
that was probably the biggest surprise that came out of Ten of Swords is that he's actually a beta. Like,
no, that's not called. That's not a beta. He's like, he loves his wife. He
does,
school.
But she is definitely the top. Like, she's like, oh no, bow down. And he's like, yes, ma'am. And I'm like, what the hell just happened.
He loves his wife. Hey, think about it. Think about the kind of woman that has to get Apocalypse. Not even a woman, person has to get Apocalypse. You have to be dominating. So, yes,
Yeah.
good on her.
Good on her for sure. But
yeah.
wow, that was a shock to see him just kind of be like, okay, Pookie.
and they got kids. They got busy. Not all at the same time, different times, and they're all powerful. And he loved, and you could totally tell Apocalypse is a daddy's girl. I mean, no, other way. Girls, no, that sounds worse, Beth. Sounds worse the other way. No, other way. It's gross. No, but
he's a dad who loves his kids.
Yeah, I want to see him with Death. He's like, look just like me. Look just like me.
Chip off the old block.
Oh my gosh. Apocalypse is so funny now that he's a dad. He's just like, he's basically like the 8 is enough guy.
Pestilence, go clean your room.
Like, no, like, Pestilence. Pestilence, I didn't mean to talk to you that way.
Pestilence, you've done a bad thing. What are you going to do to fix it?
I'm going to go to the world after dinner. Just, oh God, oh.
It was definitely an interesting
dynamic
nuance to him.
Yeah.
So
now we know he's a good guy. He's like now he's
I don't know if I will go that far, but we saw a softer side of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
You know, after my daughter was born, I went to visit my husband at his job. They were having like a baby shower to meet the baby, basically.
Yeah.
And everybody said, you know, now that she's here, he's like a different boss.
I never understood that.
They said she softened him up, and that just cracked me up. But she did.
I never understood that.
I'm like, your baby boy didn't soften you up, but your
like no
baby girl does. Like,
like
I never subscribed to that. That was always one of my pet peeves. Is we're raising gentlemen, but we are not raising people with these patriarchal notions. Like, we're trying to get away from that.
My brother, my nephew, he's 6 months, and I look at him like, I know you're coming for me. I'm gonna you're gonna have to work for this ass whooping. No,
well, you know, it's weird because my middle son, he actually almost never got a spanking. He was not that kind of kid.
Right.
My daughter, when she was born, my husband was like, babe, you know, I can't spank her. And by the time that she's 2, it's like, I was like, so much for that.
Right.
They got the bad gene, the mischief, I guess.
I guess. Burn it down. They got that mystique gene.
I guess.
Oh, that's rough. All right. So, have you introduced your children to X-Men or?
Oh, absolutely. Since they were born.
Okay. All right. All right.
My son is 20 now, and he's actually going back to rewatch the animated series. Nice. So he hasn't watched it in a while, but he's watching it independently. So he came to me the other day. He was like, Mom, I'm going to cook dinner. Will you stand here with me while we talk about it?
Hey, he wants to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, and so we had a really nice discussion. I think he was up to episode 8, and he was like, "Okay, what's going on with this over here?" And it was really fun to listen to him talking about it.
So he already went through Slave Island.
Yes,
that's crazy for them to show a basic a slave camp on a Saturday morning cartoon in the 90s.
I mean, but you know, again, I think that's where a lot of us, you know, we saw this stuff that was like real.
Right.
Like, I mean, superpowers aren't real, but we all understand that this other thing could happen, that, you know, you could have people that are, you know, put somewhere. And it just so happened in the 90s, they were literally in the fields of North Carolina as slaves.
Yeah.
You know, and that's still going on. We know that.
Yeah.
And that resonates with us, and you remember that when you get older.
Right. And it's just crazy because I remember, like, I totally understand where Gambit was coming from. He was, if you really kind of look at it, he was completely obvious. But like the fact is, he knew not to tell Jubilee at all, because she just blabs. And he even told her plan, like, listen, your plan is gonna get everybody killed, and it nearly did. And then I think Gambit was so underused on that show. Like, you only got like one episode talking about his past and nothing else. Like, they don't go back to the bayou. They don't talk about him being king of the Thieves Guild. They don't talk about him knowing Ghost Rider.
Had he been established as the king of the Thieves Guild when it came out?
No.
Yeah, I think that was right before it happened in the comics. But yeah, so there were, I mean, for what it was amazing. Like, I always hear Storm in my head. Skin color prejudice? Like, right? Yes, bitch, in 2021, still happening.
That's true. That's so always quaint. Like, wow, that's a flex. That's a weird flex.
Yeah. And and for that to be in a cartoon at that time, weird. Wow.
All right, what was your favorite season of that show?
I have to go with season 1. It was just iconic. The best lines come out of that season. I mean, everybody knows Rogue and Storm in that first episode. Like, Night of the Sentinels was classic. You can't beat that. How many times do we watch it on the Pizza Hut VHS tape?
That's true. But okay, I give you that. Okay, I would say the best episode of that season was probably the last one, when they all went after the Sentinels. And it showed how much of a real one Cyclops was. He was the first one to go. He was like, I don't care. On sight, I'm going. He's like, Jean, let's go. And he's like, okay. It's like he's like, shut up, Jean, let's go.
She's like, all right, Poppy.
All right. It's like, all right. And that's how we know that Cyclops is a top. He's a power top. But we did see in that first episode, in the second episode.
I don't know. I mean,
Wait.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. When Wolverine punched Cyclops in the stomach and got numb, like, okay, Wolverine, like, I'm sorry. I was so mad. I'm like,
that was great.
I wanted to be on the show. Like, Scott, no, bro, don't even worry about this. I got, hey, you little drunk.
And you get the whole thing with Creed being a terrible person, and the X-Men trying to help him, which was actually going on in the comics around that time, or right after that. And then we know why Wolverine hates him. And eventually we get to the fact that Silver Fox, was Wolverine's honey, and Creed like kills her, and then she's alive. Like, we get all of that.
Yeah, we get that. How many times?
I don't know.
How many times can we see that adamantium bonding process footage reused? They used it so much. It was like, wow, you guys did not have any money, right?
Everybody knows it. Yeah, everybody knows that story, and it's great. But I don't know. I think every season had something wonderful in it.
Season 3.
But just the first season, because I saw it so many times, and I can quote like whole lines, whole scenes.
I'm right there with you, but I'm going with season 3. Season 3 had stronger stories. Phoenix and the Dark Phoenix saga in the same season.
Yeah, and that's the best. I mean, seriously, if anybody wanted to watch the Dark Phoenix saga, that's where you watch it,
right?
Because it captured. I mean, like, I'm turning the pages of the comic as I'm watching, and it's like right there. Like, they're quoting lines from the comic book.
And like, all right, forgetting about the Dark Phoenix, let's go with the Phoenix saga. It was a well-rounded story. You actually thought Xavier was losing his mind, but we didn't really see it. We knew that he wasn't. We knew he wasn't losing his mind, but he thought he was losing his mind. And then when Juggernaut came out of nowhere, like, wow, they're just throwing it at everybody. it's just like it was just great, and like
that was great. It was great.
And also, you're a Storm fan. You'll remember this one when they went to the Savage Land, and Storm got kidnapped by Sauron, and then he just like told her to go buck wild, and she just used her powers all over the place, and she just went like, I love that. That's probably that's one of my favorite Storm episodes. Like she is a beast.
She let loose, and that
Yes.
was fun. And actually, I didn't even know who Zaladane was because I hadn't even started reading that era where she'd come out in the comics.
Right.
So that was my introduction to Zaladane and to Sauron.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, what the hell is, so I had to ask my dad, like, hey, do you know what the hell's going on?
Right.
So he's like, oh yeah, let me tell you about this, so that was fun. That was real fun.
It was, that's nice. You had a dad who was able to explain things to you. I had uncles who were 7 years older than me. I was like 7, 8 at the time. They're teenagers. They're dicks. They don't want to tell you nothing. They're like, look it up. I'm like,
yeah, we don't have Google now. It's right? The 90s.
I'm like, you guys are...
But no, my dad is the one that really introduced me to like sci-fi and fantasy and everything. He was a huge X-Men fan. He had tons and tons of X-Men comics for a while. My mom made him sell them, and now she's like, oh, I was stupid.
Hey,
well, at the time we kind of needed grocery money, and like this guy gave her in the 80s like $300 for a box of X-Men comics.
That's more than you get now.
Yeah, I mean, well, he had some from like the 60s. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, but still, $300 in the 80s, that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I mean, hell, even now, that'll buy me groceries for 2 weeks, right?
Hey, you give me $300, I'm rich. Like,
right?
Nothing.
So, but he knew a lot about, their history, and he had collected comics right through, I think, through the end of Inferno.
Wow.
And that's when he stopped collecting because my mom was like, we ain't got enough money for all this stuff. We got 3 kids and we got
they were 50 cents.
Yeah, well, again, the 80s.
80s, yeah.
And we were not doing well financially. We were receiving government assistance. We lived in government housing for a while. So, comic book or toilet paper, which one you gonna pick?
hey, you can read one and then use it for toilet paper. Especially if it's
but it was like. The thing about my dad is he was such a joker. Like, I never knew when he was telling me the truth about stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I remember he was telling me, Kitty Pryde, her name used to be Sprite. And I was like, stop playing. I did not know for almost 15 years that he was telling me the truth.
No, I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, it was Sprite and then it was Ariel. Yeah, she was named a soda and a Disney princess. That's a rarity. But I still think Shadowcat was the best name. It's such a cool name. But
yeah, I don't think you can get better than that. Like, there's some names that just should never be changed. Rachel should never have gone to Prestige.
No,
she should have always been Phoenix.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Jean should have been Phoenix as well. Like, they could share a name. The Spider-Man. I mean, there's like
Cyclops, Wolverine, and Storm, and Colossus, and Nightcrawler have never changed their names. Why would you change Shadowcat's name? Jubilee is still Jubilee.
Facts.
Gambit is still Gambit, and Rogue is still Rogue. Like, those names are they're so iconic to those characters.
Right.
Trying to change Rachel's name to anything but Phoenix was a huge mistake.
And it's such a missed opportunity because she should be bigger. Because, like, she's an OG X-Man. OG. And, like, nobody really knows who she is. And I kind of have this theory that Jean Grey is intentionally not getting pregnant with Rachel, and because she doesn't want Rachel around, another Rachel. Because we don't know how Rachel was raised.
I think that we're past the period where Rachel would have been born in our reality. So even if she had a baby named Rachel, it wouldn't be that Rachel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. It's just like I remember after the wedding, Scott and Jean's wedding, which was a beautiful issue. I don't care what
Really
anybody
was.
said. That was just
It was a great issue. It really was. Everything about it was great.
Yep. Nobody could touch it.
The dialogue was great. The scenery was great. The setting was great. Like, it's a 10.
Also, here's the thing. Charles, who was the first person who Jean had her dance with as a married woman, wasn't her daddy. It wasn't her father. It was her daddy.
You know, until I read that issue, I did not know that Xavier wasn't out as a mutant.
Oh, right. Yeah,
that was the issue where I was like, what? I'm like, wait a minute.
I love those big time. I love those times where all the X-Men groups get together. Like, there was this one little exchange between Cable and Valerie Cooper where he's asked her, hey, am I still on the most wanted list? She's like, let's just say it's good I didn't see you.
Yeah, she's like, I didn't see you. I don't know.
Like,
who are you? What's your
it's
name?
like, now let's
you?
drunk. Like, see, I want to see more of that. Like, I want to see like a drinking contest between the New Mutants and the X-Men, saying like, you know what, Xavier was more harsher with us. He had his go death traps. Are you talking? We had to deal with demon bears and Magneto as our guidance counselor. Every time Rain had a problem with mutants, he just gave her a 45 and a plane ticket to kill her dad. They were first class, but like still, no one wants to do that. No, I think the New Mutants are probably the most like interesting out of all the classes because they were raised by Xavier, Magneto, and Cable. That's crazy to me.
I agree. I think that you couldn't think of 3 more different people.
Right.
like all of them have a completely different philosophy. Even Cable. Like, Cable is not fighting for human mutant coexistence. He's like, I gotta figure out how we can survive this crap.
Right.
You know, like, he's like, I got my mind on my money on my mind. I gotta figure this out. Like, okay,
so Cable does listen to Wu-Tang. He's all about currency.
He just did it in the future, 2,000 years in the future.
I'm pretty sure he was listening to. He was like, it's like, I love that method, man.
Cyclops brought it with him when he
right. I get it. I totally get it. Like, it totally makes a lot of sense about Cable. But yeah, with the new, I always thought like with the leaders like Sam and Danny, Danny is more like Magneto, but she believes in Xavier's way, whereas like Sam, he's more like Charles, but eventually he's gonna see Magneto. Like, they're nice little parallels. Like,
I don't know that Sam would ever get there because, I mean, he's from Kentucky.
What does that mean? He married a racist.
But he has this. I see Sam as being too idealistic to actually realize how much of Magneto's philosophy is actually true. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
My dad had the same problem. You know, again, it's this promise of America, right? Like, we know what it was advertised to be, what it should be, what people thought it was. Right. And now we are realizing, oh, it was all a lie, but we still want to fix it. Yeah. And I think Sam is like that. He knows, well, shit is bad, but I want to fix it. Danny's like, we've been through some crap. People have died. I have watched these children get buried.
Yeah.
And we now have Krakoa, and we finna fight for it. Period. End of story.
Absolutely. Like that, which also makes me look at how they're being written in New Mutants, because like the New Mutants have had the most stuff happen to them aside from the new X-Men kids. They saw Doug got shot. Yeah. Not by a mutant. He got killed by regular human with a gun. Doug got killed by humans. Warlock got killed by humans.
And they were gone for a long
Whoa.
time.
Oh, and Doug Lock was so well. I like Doug Lock. I personally like Doug Lock.
I like him too, but when they came back in that way, that was the creepiest thing. Like, gave me the willies creepy. Like, oh no.
Yeah, well, yeah. I thought like, oh, so this is Doug, but he came back as part of the Phalanx. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes,
I understood that, but then find out that was actually Warlock the entire time. He just forgot about it.
Yeah, that was just wow.
I mean, how? Just but yeah, the new like when they became X-Force though, Sam got he got meaner. He got a little harder.
He did, but now I kind of feel like he's sawed back.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe it's because he's a dad.
Oh, you know what? he really okay. I know I should be for mutant families, but he needs to drop Smasher so fast. He is way too good for her. She's an all lives matter type of person. Like, no, because they're in the Hickman's run of X-Men, when the X-Men went to help her out, the X-Men find out about all the slave trot in the horrible atrocities that she already doing, and she's like, yeah, okay, I don't need to hear about that. So
kind of, and I'm just kind of like, and you know, and again, that kind of speaks to where you are within a society and how much do you accept just because you can't change it and it's too depressing to try. You know,
but I thought humans are supposed to be inherently good, who's supposed to stand up against injustice. She's not fighting for injustice. She's like, oh, hey, my boss killed a minority teenager. You know, he probably had it coming. You know, like, look at those tentacles. Look at, like, you see how long these tentacles are? Like, yeah, I think Sam should give Smasher the old Maddie Pryor special. Get the kid, take him out to Krakoa, change the locks. And get back with Danny, because Danny, no, him and Danny was great. It didn't.
It grossed me out. I would love Danny to be with Warpath. Like, seriously.
Really?
Yes. And you know what? I actually just posted about this, I think the day before yesterday. I found some early panels of them talking to each other, and they were saying, we don't even really get along, but maybe that'll change. But they're like this close to kissing. Like, their faces are like turned to each other. I was like, ooh, this is hot.
You know, I've been kind of seeing that for the longest, like back in like the late 90s when they were on the road trip. I always thought like, okay, I could totally see them get like kind of like hooking up one time and then not talking about it. Because like he's quiet and she doesn't tell her business out there like that. Except and Rain wasn't there, so she couldn't talk to anybody about it.
Yeah, but you know, I think that's one of the things about James specifically is that he needs somebody who can be strong, but also mentally strong. Like him and Terry were just bad. Like,
no, they weren't. No. He was friend zone. He was never with Terry.
Well, he was never with Terry. But that again.
Yeah.
When you are hooking up with somebody, you should never be more in love with them than they are with you. That's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. I've been there. I've been that girl. I'm like, yes, baby.
And plus, Terry hooked up with Deadpool. Yeah, right.
Rogue did too. Maybe he's packing. I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, what I equate that to is like, you know, Terry was drunk a lot at the time. She didn't know what she was doing. And Rogue, you know what? Well, like Captain America wasn't hitting the text.
Deadpool was also obsessed with Terry. She really didn't have a choice because he was always there. He was literally stalking her. Literally.
He Cosby'd her. No. Okay, all right, we're not gonna say it. All right, like, whatever might or might not have happened. Wink. Just saying. Even Banshee thought that was kind of weird. He's like, why are they? You know what? If I even say anything, she's gonna say you weren't there for me my entire life, and then we're gonna have a whole argument. And you know what? I don't want to go there. Like, I always want to see the relationship to Banshee and Siren, because it seems like she throws in like, you weren't there for me, Dad. Like
mean, it wasn't his fault. That's the thing. Yeah, but at the same time, again, this is misplaced anger. She can't be mad at her uncle because she loves him and he was functionally her father. And we see that in real life when kids get kidnapped when they're small.
Yeah.
And they don't turn against their kidnapper. They're like, but I love them. They were great. They, gave me PB&Js and took care of me when I had a fever. But they stole you. But at the same time, it's this cognitive dissonance, right? It's terrible.
Siren is the only person in the Marvel universe who looks at Juggernaut and says, that's Uncle Kane.
It's got to make him feel good, though.
But also with Black Tom and Juggernaut, did you ever think they were lovers or just
oh, absolutely partners? They were absolutely lovers.
Really? I didn't. Okay, I never saw. I just saw like they were just buddies. I don't know.
They're buddies with benefits.
I want to see how this would work. Like
the subtext is there. Now,
really? Yes. I always thought that because like Juggernaut and like Black Tom were just like they saved each other's lives, and it's just like it's a bromance, but it's never gone. It's a very. I always thought it was they're like the they're a couple of serial killers. Because they are serial killers.
A couple of serial killers,
mass murderers.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
Yeah. But
okay. I you know what. I don't know. I just never saw it.
Well, it's kind of like the Danny Ileana thing. Like, they're girlfriends, but I think they've been girlfriends.
I mean, but that's Claremont, though. He likes to make every same-sex couple, every same-sex best friend.
But it continues. It continues to this day. They're still hanging out, being there for each other. And
well, you can't be there for your friend. You can't be
not like that. Danny is there for her friend.
Oh, come on.
I think she was there for Rain too.
I mean, okay.
I think Danny's too good for Rain though. Like seriously, Rain, back off my girl. Stay away from her.
I think Danny needs to like. I don't know. I always thought she had a crush on Cyclops for some reason.
It may be a little hero worship there. He is like when you think of the X-Men.
Yeah.
If you're not thinking of Wolverine, who are you thinking of?
Storm.
It's the great threesome. Storm, Cyclops, and Wolverine.
Oh my god. Oh, okay.
And yes, I meant it that way.
Yeah. I was watching Endgame yesterday, and I kept on, and for some reason, I always kept on trying to like substitute which X-Men would be in this part. Like who would be for Captain America? Who would be for this? And that one part where they were going up against Thanos, I just saw Wolverine, Storm, and Cyclops. Just like, okay, we're taking out Magneto, right?
They would be.
Yeah, it's like, good. Let's kill him properly this time.
Like Wolverine, you distract him, and the two of us are going to kick some ass from the sides. Like we're a pack of velociraptors.
Right. Like, all right, it would have been like Wolverine, Cyclops, and Wolverine going up, and they fight, and they see Storm looking at Magneto, and you're like, "What's going on?" It's like he hasn't done anything. Let's take him out. It's just, I don't know. For some reason, in my mind, the X-Men are so more cinematic, like.
Like properly, let's properly cinematize them.
Right. Let's like, hey, if you're gonna do it right. But Danny, I don't know, like, Danny, I Warpath would be nice, but then like there's, he's dated Domino. You can't go back from Domino.
I think Danny's pretty close.
I mean, oh yeah, just yeah. Also, Karma. We all know Karma went after Kitty Pryde and swing and a miss. That was that was so hurtful. Like she went.
That was painful.
Oh, like hey,
Yeah,
Cham, not that way. Oh my God.
but somebody was saying, that they thought they didn't say it like that, but they were like, no, Danny's lesbian. And I was like, well, I would agree with you, except that she had such great chemistry with both Warpath and Forearm of all people. But
cool.
They had something. There was something there.
She dated.
So I'm like, Danny's equal opportunity. She just loves you if you're a good person.
Also, Sam. When Sam left to join the Avengers, she kissed him and said, like, get back at me when you get your head together. I'm like, oh, snap.
I feel like Sam is like her fallback. Like when you tell your friend, but if we're not married when we're 40, we'll get married to each other.
My God. That's so mean. Because if you look at Sam has dated some pretty extraordinary women. He dated Lila Cheney, a pop star who low-key kind of wants him back. She dumped him and she low-key wants him back.
Thank God that didn't happen. Claremont.
Oh, Mel did. Oh yeah, and she was clearly older than he was. She was like 20.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
like
no
way
one
older.
said anything. No one said. I was like,
not a word. Well, then we had Betsy and Doug too.
Well, no, that was a crush. Oh. That was a crush. And
but she was vibing though.
Hey, he was reading her body language. Okay, he was like the language of love. They call me Cipher. I'm trying to cipher your emotions. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. Doug's not that creepy, but but like there. I mean, and plus Rain, she hooked up with Elixir, and they specifically said she was 19 and he was 16. And that was Danny's son.
Yeah, that was that was painful too. Rain makes a lot of bad decisions. Jesus Christ. That's why I'm like, Danny, stay away from her, because you can't even influence her to be good. Like she won't listen to you.
What are you
Rain makes a lot of bad men decisions.
What about
the whole thing with Richter?
Okay. You know what? That was kind of a wash. He didn't know. She didn't know. And also up until then, anytime they saw each other, he was after her like a hound. Remember Executioner's song?
Yeah, but then when she finds out about him and Shatterstar, she's like, oh my God. I'm like, girl, would you calm down? You are part of the X-Men family, and like 90% of y'all are gay.
What? 15%, and the rest are questioning.
No way. Well, questioning is gay.
Nah.
Everybody's gay. Everybody's gay.
Okay, how about this?
Everybody's gay.
Sexuality is kind of like ice cream. Some days you want chocolate, other days you want vanilla, and you just know that you're not limited to just one. You can just have all the flavors, and that's what.
And everybody's gay. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. You know what? 90% of the time, if you ask me what kind of like ice cream I want, first of all, I want sherbet because ice cream makes my stomach hurt.
Sure.
But I like rainbow sherbet. That's like my favorite. And I'm going to have it almost every time that you ask me. But sometimes I'm in a mood and I want that. What is that? Blue daiquiri from Baskin Robbins. And I'm like, yeah, let me get the blue daiquiri today. I want that one. But I'm still a sherbet girl. I just sometimes like my daiquiri. And that's pretty much how the X-Men are.
I get that. I totally get that. But like when a character's sexuality takes place in front of the character, like with Iceman, he was a goof and now he's just a gay goof. Like, what else is he doing now?
Well, apparently he's making space domes capturing oxygen, which is the most badass thing he's done in a long time.
Yeah, I was really impressed by that. even though the art, oh god, that art was bad. I felt like I was having an after school special where somebody's about to ask me, hey, where on the doll did he touch you? What? I just came to get some shoes. No, but okay. Storm, which X-Men have she hooked up with? Does it
Besides Wolverine?
Okay. Oh, okay, real quick. I think her and Wolverine have been like friends with benefits for a long time.
Oh,
There's never been a
definitely.
time where she's been on the X-Men and he wasn't. And like like Wolverine figured out a long time ago, if you propose to Storm, it's not going to end well. So best bet is just stay in your lane. Don't try to evolve. Don't try to be more. Just be the friend when they need it.
I love this theory because it makes perfect sense.
Like seriously, I mean, because all right, remember when Nightcrawler dated Storm and he was about to marry her, and then she just went off to Africa to fear the Black Panther? I just imagine Wolverine right there, like, okay, Curry, let me tell you my. All right,
yeah, let's go have a beer.
We're gonna go to Harry's. I'm gonna tell you my whole theory and tell you why you guys were doomed from the start.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Which X-Men do you think that Storm has hooked up with? Publicly,
she's definitely hooked up with Wolverine and Cyclops.
Really? When?
Oh, there was an X-Men Unlimited issue where they were gonna die. And they are in a bus and they totally did it. They totally did. Xavier was right there unconscious. There's no way they didn't do it. Cyclops is like, we're going to die. We might as well.
We might as well? Oh,
like, let's stay warm while we're dying.
Hey, you know what? I mean, Wolverine put Storm in second place to Jean for a reason, and Jean puts Wolverine second place to Scott for a reason. There's a reason. See, they call them the one eye for a reason.
They all take care of each other in that way. That's how I feel about it.
Also,
so Storm's definitely been with Wolverine, Cyclops, Forge, Nightcrawler. Who else? Let's see.
Not with Gambit. That's like her little brother.
Yeah, that's more like her brother. I mean, I could see them like play flirting, but
serious. Yeah, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. It's been hinted at Bishop and Cable at different times.
Oh, definitely Cable, which is weird.
No, you know what? I think of Bishop. I'm thinking Bishop. Because, hear me out.
Well, I know he wanted her. Bishop wanted her. Oh, but she was like, peasant.
I don't know. In Extreme X-Men, it seemed like they got cozy a couple of times. Like,
and that would be that one night stand thing where you never talk about it
again.
I feel like Storm and Dazzler have probably hooked up.
Her and Yuri. I know a lot of people say.
Oh, definitely Yukio.
You know what? Here's why I don't. Because have you ever just met somebody and you're like, and they just have a profound influence on your life? Like, bro, you're like my best friend. And like it wasn't sexual. It's just like she just exposed her. Like, hey, I'm showing you what you don't see. They totally did it.
No, I think that. I mean, there are obviously friendships like that. I mean, Storm and Gambit is one of them,
right?
But Yukio specifically, I don't see how you could read that as anything but them as being a couple. Like, they clearly wanted each other, and Storm like ruminates about it. She's just like, I just want to run away with this woman. I'm like, holy crap.
Okay, all right. Here's why I also like female friendships are gay in the first place, because there are no boundaries.
There are none. I was at the hospital and my girlfriend was with me. My husband was out of town. I didn't have anybody else. And I'm like, first of all, they medicated me. So that's my, but I'm like, you want to see my bra? You want to see my panties? Look at my panties. They're matching. She's like, okay.
No, men can't do that. We can't say, hey bro, check out check out my bicep. Like that looks really, so like that's why I'm looking at the female friendships like we're kind of looking at them with a male gaze though. Like we're like
even with the female gaze, I'm like, look, they want each other.
Okay, Storm and Yukio, I can totally see that happen. Storm and Jean, no, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I
think
they're sisters.
They've definitely seen each other naked, but they've never like wanted each other.
All the X-Men have seen each other naked at some point. I mean, especially when they come back, like not even from the Resurrection Protocols. I mean, like even before, everybody's seen Betsy naked. Like, Storm and Betsy were nudists, and I'm pretty sure it made a couple people uncomfortable. Like,
I think Storm and Betsy have probably had at least a one-night stand.
Yeah,
I think I think I could see that definitely because I mean you see them kissing each other and hugging each other all the time, and I love my girlfriends, but I don't really do that. So I could see them acting on it. You know what? It's Saturday night. We're in our pajamas. We're watching this movie on Cinemax. We've got some popcorn and some ice cream.
And Colossus is passed out. No, actually, also, I think I think Betsy and Storm both had a thing with not together, but with Colossus.
Oh no, I don't think Storm would do that with Colossus.
Oh,
again, that's a little brother.
Psylocke did. Yes, because remember, draw me like you with your French curls, PR. He smashed.
Oh yeah,
he smashed a bunch of them. Yeah, like he did. He did Betsy. He did Rogue.
Yes. For somebody who can't touch people, Rogue has gotten around. God love her. Good for her.
Love her. This is good on her. I'm like, I forgot it, and you forget about that. But then, like,
it happened. Like,
it was
okay, girl.
Like, hey,
work.
And Kitty, I think she's just asexual. She just likes to tease.
Kitty?
Yeah, Kitty likes to tease. Because every dude she's ever gone out with has had a P name. She has destroyed.
Oh, I think she definitely did them.
No. Yeah, but maybe I'm not. She just likes the attention. I don't blame
her. That's fun. It's fun when you're really not, you don't want to commit. Just play the field, flirt a lot, get your freak on. Have a good time. We're only here once.
What, really? Well, okay. What about when Colossus came back and she was like, "Oh, I want to get back with Colossus." And he was like, he was a typical Russian, like, shoot your shot. He basically told her shoot her shot. It's like, I'm ready for you. I'm waiting for you to shoot your shot. Because I don't want to. Because I don't want to be arrested. Colossus. God, he got entrapped by her. I still say it. 13, 19? Come on. And Rogue had a crush on Colossus. I think you're frozen. Hello. It's a pause. Oh wow, it's cool. Everything okay?
Yeah, it's just every once in a while when we have a storm here, it's we have underground cables, and if lightning hits the wrong place, it knocks us off.
Oh, that's rough. That's roof.
But for Kitty, people kind of knock her for leaving Peter at the altar. But I kind of see Kitty a little bit like Xander from Buffy, right? He leaves Anya at the altar, but it was for the best.
Also, it was kind of Ileana's fault.
Yeah, and Kitty secretly wants Ileana, so
no. Okay, I like Ileana basically cuckolded her brother. It's like, hey, I don't think you guys should be together. Why? Because I don't feel if you guys would have been gave her a bullshit reason. I'm like, wow, you are a bad sister.
But she wasn't wrong. I mean, she wasn't wrong.
Yeah, but like there was always something that was going on. Like Colossus died when like it was always one of them realized they were in love with each other when the other one was gone. Like when Colossus died, Kitty realized she was in love with him. And then they dated and then they broke up because because his sister is problematic and he needs to take care of his sister, which is
that's his biggest fault, I think, is that Colossus for so long always put Kitty first. I mean, not Kitty, Ileana first.
It's the last member of his family. The rest of the family were murdered.
Yeah, and there was the one time that they had the big fight or whatever. But other than that, he's always put her first. And you know what? Ileana is an adult. She's cannot. She is. She's an adult. She's still a young adult, but she has enough history that you cannot baby her. She was the queen of limbo.
Yeah, she got it in like 30 seconds. I'm kidding.
She was the queen of limbo. And when she says, fuck off, Peter, let her be herself. She is not the 6-year-old girl that you rescued from your daddy's tractor.
Fair.
You know, she's not. And you can't treat her like that. Yeah. And I mean, we see it in the Age of Apocalypse. What does he do? He leaves Husk. Or was it Husk? I think it was
Husk and Chamber. Yeah, he got a
Chamber. He leaves them to go rescue her, and he could have done both.
Yeah,
he could have done both, and he didn't. Like, she has always been kind of this catalyst that he just throws away everything for. Kitty was right to not marry him.
Well, but what happened to him afterwards was so rough. I mean, he became a drunk, but he ended up being like Havoc's best friend because he made Havoc look at his life. It seemed like it was better by comparison. Which
poor Havoc.
Shit. I mean, I know people want to separate him and Lorna, but geez, like without Lorna, when he wasn't with Lorna, he was stable. He just had self-confidence issues. Now, without her, he's a wreck.
He is a hot mess.
You
know, people talk about Jean needing to be single. Havoc needs to be single for a while. Play the field. Yes. You know what? Date Betsy. She'll put some starch in your back and she'll fix you up good as new. Oh. And then you can move on with your life.
Because like you want to talk about somebody who has bad dating. Okay, Havoc, he dated Lorna. Probably the best thing that ever happened to. Well, a case could be made for the Wasp. He had a kid with the Wasp, so whatever. There was that racist nurse that he got kind of. Okay, would you call that Stockholm syndrome or like just total mind telepathy, just making you think one?
I don't know what I would call that. I would call it a clusterfuck. That's what I would call it.
I would not have let that nurse anywhere near the school, knowing that she's a racist.
Absolutely not.
Be like,
absolutely not. Like, how did it even? How I don't know. And then
how did Emma not call her out on it?
Then he's all, oh, I don't want to be called a mutant. Like,
you sell out.
I want to punch you now.
It's like, and also that stupid kid. I hate that kid, Carter. Like you do. It's like, oh wait, you're the grandson of the Shadow King, huh? I can totally see the resemblance. I don't know.
Yeah, Havoc has problems, and he needs to be single. He needs to have someone who will help him not be a pansy, for lack of a better word, and be obsessed with Madeline, because what the hell is up with that?
I got somebody who would be really good for him, or at least for a little while. Dazzler.
And we're back to she's too good for him.
What? Whoa. Okay, all right. First, we gotta remember they go back. They're homies. They're friends.
They do.
They go way back. Actually, a lot of that astonishing X-Men team go back with Havoc.
They do.
Yeah,
but he doesn't seem to have, or he doesn't seem to carry forward the bonds of friendship. You know, like he's just Havoc. And do they ask about him? Do they call him in those panels that we want in the back of every book and say, hey, Havoc, come over, let's have some popcorn? Nobody's calling Havoc to say that.
Oh yeah, but like it seems like there was a time where that would have happened. Oh God, just
maybe
I don't know. Havoc needs me to tell him, bro, it is not a good look for you to try to smash your brother's leftovers. Okay, if you guys have a kid, Cable and your kid would be brother cousins. You don't want that.
We're not from Alabama, Havoc.
Yeah, like you are from Anchorage. You were born in Hawaii, Alexander. Okay? You're supposed to be laid back and cool. You're a white Hawaiian, and no one talks about that.
You should totally be a surfer dude. Yeah. Your younger brother is half of a surfer dude with his little backward baseball cap. Why can't you be that cool?
Hey, whoa. Oh, Adam. Hey, leave Adam alone. Okay, this is not about Adam.
Like Adam. I think he's just been fundamentally misused. And Adam, the baseball cap is so 90s. Leave it in yesterday. Come back to the present. We can hook you up. You'll be fine.
Get him a haircut. I see.
Yes. Let's have a haircut.
Yes.
You know what? Hang out with Kylan from Excalibur. Oh. You guys go hang out. It'll be fine.
Oh, that's so right. Yeah, I want to see it though. I really want to see it. Like,
wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, I want to see panels of the of rosters of X-Men just getting together and just having dinner. Like, I want to see Cyclops and Jean have a conversation, have a whole issue where they talk about their entire relationship. There does have to be any violence, no action. They just talk about it like adults, and then we figure out how they got to where they are with Wolverine and Emma.
You know, that was something that Kelly Thompson did a really great job with Rogue and Gambit in Mr. and Mrs. X, or maybe it was before Mr. and Mrs. X, but they definitely went through a book where they just talked about all of the things that had happened over the course of their relationship and how much it hurt them. Yeah. And it was so cathartic to see them go through that and scream at each other, just like we know their Southern sassy selves would.
Right.
And then at the end say, but you know what? I'm there for you and you're there for me and we love each other. And I'm like, yes, thank you, Jesus.
Like, bring back Mr. and Mrs. X. Let's go, like, make that be like the X-Men romance book where we actually get an idea of where these characters stand, like, canonically. Just, I want to see Cyclops and Jean have a conversation. I want to see how Jean feels about Madeline. No one talks about it.
Like, this has been my pet peeve since the whole we're not resurrecting Madeline thing happened. I'm like, I need to know. I need to see Jean address this. I want to know how she voted. And I want to know why she didn't stand up bigger, because I feel like if Jean had said yes, everybody else would have said yes. So that's why I think she voted no.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Because hey, I'm not saying Jean getting into the Summers family would remind me of the 1998 movie with Julia Roberts and Susan Sarandon, Stepmom. Same thing. The kids are already born. She swooped in, took the mom's place. You know, it's like, hey, I look like her anyway. So, and like Cable looks at Jean like a mother. So, like,
I mean, she raised him in the future.
Yeah, she raised him in the future. She did. Like, she did all the work after the birth. So this tells me that she does not want to be pregnant at all.
Pregnancy is hard. I don't blame her.
I get it. I totally get it. But like, I mean, but my whole thing with Madeline is she doesn't want to let go. She's like an ex-wife. She doesn't know how to take a loss. Like,
and I think that's, and honestly, she's got grounds, and I will defend her to my death. She has grounds. She went through some seriously traumatic shit. Her kid was kidnapped from her.
Sinister.
Her husband ran off.
Manipulated.
I'm by myself. Nobody's paying attention to me. I'm probably going through some postpartum depression shit. The only person paying attention to me is my brother's shitty little brother, or my husband's shitty little brother, and it's havoc.
He wasn't that shitty. I mean, it's not like it's the Weingarts.
He had an affair with his brother's wife while they were still married.
Yeah, that was kind of.
I mean, she obviously was culpable. She obviously was like, "Yeah, let's do this."
She made it happen.
He could have said no, and he didn't. Yikes. Havoc. I need you to go to therapy, buddy.
Can you imagine how weird it must be for Gene to like be at the dinner table and her having dinner, and she'll just hear a straight thought from Havoc like, man, Gene looks just like man. Like, oh my God.
And that's what's so weird is, and this is why I argue for Madeline's personhood. Havoc has never been attracted to Gene. There has never been
they're buddies. Like that's
half
like
a moment.
Yeah.
There's never been half a moment where Havoc has been attracted to Gene, but he had that with Maddie quite early on.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, you're right. That is
and
weird.
If that doesn't mean that Maddie is a person, I don't know what would prove that. I digress. We're already way off where we should be.
Or build your own redhead collection. I guess this is why Cable and Rachel don't hang out with them, because they're like, he's trying to bang my mom.
Yeah.
No, in Cable's case, it is.
It is his actual mom. Yeah. Yeah. And, I really feel like if Cable was able to really warm up to Maddie, and I mean, they've had interactions before, but they've never really been where I feel like they should be. And this goes back to Stockholm syndrome, right? Because Gene essentially has kidnapped Cable.
Okay.
I'm just saying, functionally, it's the same thing. He is a kidnapped child. This is not his natural mother. She's his stepmother, his aunt, if you will, who has raised him as a mother figure. And so he has been alienated from even this idea of his mother, right? And he's never felt warm feelings towards him. And I mean, she did try to sacrifice him. But again, Gene gets a pass. Gene gets a pass for what happened with the Phoenix wearing her face.
That was true. That was absolutely true. Yeah.
Basically, the Goblin Force is the essence, is the opposite essence of the Phoenix
Force. That makes sense.
And nobody gives Maddie a pass for what happened there. And she died bitter. And that bitter has continued to carry over. And nobody has ever really ameliorated that. The closest we ever got was Nate Gray, and that was disgusting. Marvel, what is it with you and incest? Gross.
That was
gross.
But here's the thing. I feel like with Madeline, it kind of goes back to what I said about Betsy and Quanon again. Like, they're mad at the wrong people. They need to be mad. Maddie needs, instead of going after looking at Scott, she needs to look at Sinister. Once again, it's all back to Sinister.
It is. That's why I hate Sinister. I mean, it makes for great drama, but you should have a character that you hate. Like, you've taken away all my other villains. I will hate Sinister and Apocalypse until the day that I die.
I mean, I don't like Humanity. Humanity has always been the first villain.
Yeah, true. But that's kind of a more diffuse villain. I mean, specific individuals.
The Avengers?
Avengers. I go back and forth on the Avengers. I really do. Club. I love Jessica Drew and Julia Carpenter, and Julia was a member of the Avengers for a while. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I guess because Jessica specifically and Miss Marvel, like, they're supposed to be like really good friends, and you called the popos on her. What the fuck, Carol? What the hell was that about?
She does that.
Like, you know what? You do that, you're not my friend. Like, you traumatized my child. Screw you, Carol.
Thank you. I'll keep that in there too. Like, no, it's just like my whole thing with the Avengers is like they're like, hey, well, hey, we're gonna fight King and Galactus and this and Namor and with mutants.
They're
Hey,
tired.
this is water.
They fought everything else. They're too tired to fight for mutants. But no, I actually, yeah, I think that is something that they, especially Cap. Like, I love Steve Rogers in the MCU, but God, in the comics, like, Steve, what the hell, Steve? You need to get on the horn, Steve. Tell these people, these Trumpers, basically, right? You need to tell them, y'all are wrong. My best friends are mutants. Y'all need to chill out.
Like, all right. Also, I want to know how Marvel is dealing with racial stuff. Like, is there still was there like a Black Lives Matter equivalent in the Marvel universe? And also, it'd be really funny considering that a lot of these humans who would be they're pro everybody else, but they hate mutants. That's really funny. Like, hey, I'm pro gay rights, Black rights. I'm for everybody's rights. Mutants, fuck them. Oh,
and I mean, there's people like that, right?
That's funny. I feel like that's Graydon Creed. I feel like he's the biggest ally for everybody else, but for mutants, no. That'd be so funny. Like Graydon Creed, a friend to the gay community. It's like 18 things wrong with that sentence right there. Just Graydon. No, but the X-Men are like, I feel like this, like, how do you feel about the X-Men right now? Like at the franchise where it is after everything.
I went through, when you go to college and you're broke and you can't buy comics anymore. I went through that whole period. I went through that whole period. And then I came back to comics a couple of times. And every time it was like, no. Like, I came back during a Marvel Zombies event and I was like, where are the regular X-Men comics? Like, where are those books? I couldn't find them. And I came back to read some stuff by Chuck Austin.
Wow.
And I was like, what is this?
It started off strong, though.
I don't think I read that part.
I mean,
I did not read the strong part. I obviously came where there was definitely a valley, and no. And I kept trying and it wasn't working for me. This era, as it stands, from the very beginning, I was very nervous about it because I'm like, I don't like this idea of separatism. Mm-hmm. Like, I just don't think it's ever going to work.
Wakanda area.
Yeah, like there's and those things are problematic, right? Like, there's problematic stuff going on. Gentle should not be crying because his mom like castigated him because he was a mutant.
Yeah,
like, come on, you're Wakandan. You should be better than that.
I think Wakanda doesn't like mutants, low key.
I mean,
it feels like it. It feels like it. It's
problematic. It's some issues. There's some issues there.
There's some heat there. I'm feeling some.
Yeah. And the Atlanteans, God, I don't even know what the hell's going on with them. Namor
needs an ass whooping.
Yeah, I can't even with the Wakandan or the Atlanteans.
No, real quick. Namor needs to. In order to get Namor to do anything for you, you basically have to treat him like a child. Ignore him, and he'll get so angry, like.
Or get Emma to ask him.
No. See, I don't. So she's busy. Like, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to bother her. She's at work, and like,
But
no, I don't want to get.
But yeah, I mean, again, problematic. But this has been the first time in a long time that I've read comics for this long and enjoyed 95% of the ride. Like, there are some books here and there that are kind of like, okay, That was $4.
Name names. I want some names.
Excalibur.
Excalibur's gotten better. And
Has it
like
though?
after the gala, they use
Has
Gambit.
it though?
Okay.
I mean, okay. There have been great moments,
right there,
but the issues themselves are not.
Yeah.
I don't like them. I don't. I'm
Other
like,
ones not interesting. I'm not like
it's not. It's not. You know, and I wish it was interesting, but I did not. I always give it high marks because I think that the synergy between the story and the art put together elevate it.
right.
But if it was just the story, no, it's not working for me. I don't really care about the characters, their motive. And Rogue is like my favorite character of all time. If Rogue is in a book and I don't want to read it, you have a problem.
Like, and plus, like when it first started, the group looks so interesting on paper. You had Apocalypse with 4 other X-Men that know each other really well. I thought that we were going to get more of that. Like, hey, do you?
Yeah, and like Gambit and Jubilee, they used to vibe back in the day. So I was hoping for
cutting him down. She was cutting him down. Like anytime he said something, she was always put like
just
like
you know, like, and I'm down with that. Like, I love that. And I didn't get that. And I got Jubilee as like this depressed mom. No, absolutely not. This doesn't make any sense to me.
Like, I thought she was dating Chamber.
She was. Like, who decided to break them up?
Well, we know who broke them up.
But yeah, so Excalibur specifically has been my least favorite of the line.
Fair.
Marauder started out very, very strong.
It did.
And now I'm kind of like, you're losing me a little bit. You're losing me. Okay. But you're losing me. Cable was interesting when it was there. But now it's gone.
I really, oh God. I knew you called it, like, I called it from the beginning. He was going to go back into the future, but I actually thought that Esme was going to go with him, and we're going to find out that she's actually Tyler's mother.
We could still find that out because she's with him.
I thought, like, oh, that's great.
She's with him. She's with him one way or another. Maybe she is, because Tyler is blonde.
Tyler is blonde, but I just don't get the allure of Emma Frost. Like, she's just a basic white woman.
But Esme is not Emma.
That's it. They all look like her, though.
They look like her, but that's not what makes you who you are.
Fair.
But Wolverine kind of goes up and down. Like, I think it's pretty strong overall, but it kind of has peaks and valleys.
Wolverine's been good.
Hellions has been my book. This is like if you told me 3 years ago I would like an X-Men book that has Nanny in it, I would have laughed at you. Nanny? No, I'm not reading a book with Nanny in it. When the lineup was announced, I was like, no, I'm not reading that.
But you got into it, though.
I love it. She is amazing. I love the book. I love the characters. The character interactions feel strong and well thought out. Grey Crow is definitely sniffing on Cannon's butt. Like, he is all up on that.
Oh man. Okay.
I mean, he wants to lay down the pipe. Oh, he's a construction worker, and he wants to lay down the pipe.
Oh yeah, he wants it. Yeah, he wants it bad. But all right. Plus, like you said, the character interactions. Remember when the Hellions found out that Sinister got kidnapped, and they're like, Sinister's been kidnapped, and Grey Crow said, "So you want to get a sandwich?" I was like,
that was great.
I was like,
that's great. And that's what I'm missing from Excalibur, these character beats, right? And I'm not getting that from that book. And there are a lot of people who love Excalibur, and more power to them. It's just not my book. It's not for me.
No, it's just Sinister though. I mean, and like that is the realest. Like, I can see anybody go like, or I would have been like, Senator's been kidnapped. So I don't care.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like you said it was like somebody important.
Yeah. The new X-Men book, I think, again, it's the story is okay. The art elevates it.
Oh yeah.
More than I think it deserves to be elevated.
Yeah.
It's okay, but it's not my favorite. Hellions is definitely like, you can't touch Hellions. Hellions is on a pedestal and you can't touch it. New Mutants, I know a lot of people don't like Rod Reese's art. I love it. I think it's
nice.
Great for the story that is being told. I loved the beginning. I loved that we were kind of flipping back and forth between, two different groups. And we got the introduction of Kojmar and Kojmar's look, their physicality.
Yeah.
Really interesting, and playing with this idea of who gets crucible and who doesn't and why. That's important. I think that's important to the story.
That was good. No,
go ahead.
The whole thing, that one part where Cosmar went to Danny and said, I want you to do Crucible with me. And she said, no, because you're perfect just the way you are. That was the equivalent of a pretty person telling a fat person, no, you don't need to get in shape. You're good just the way you are. Like, you ignorant.
Yeah, that was probably the most painful moment of Danny Moonstar that I have ever experienced in a book. She was distracted. In her defense, she was distracted, but she should have known this is not the correct way to respond to this person's pain.
Yeah.
And then when she went back to try to apologize, and we're off chasing a literal rabbit.
Right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. But like when Shan said, "Hey, I want you to help me with my brother who may be evil." Okay, let's do it, Shan. Let's do it.
I mean,
Cosmar, I don't know.
That's one of Danny's oldest friends, though. I mean, I would do the same thing. Like, who has my loyalty? This kid that I barely know, who's having an issue for real, but they're hanging out with other people. They're probably safe. Right. Or my friend who might go into Sevalith and die.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But I love the story with like Beak and his family. I love Beak.
Beak was great.
Yes, Beak and his family are always great. Little Tito, I just love him so much.
The Jacksons. The fact that they were named after the Jacksons.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It's not Michael. I'm surprised. Like, which one was Michael? Which one was the best?
But yeah, the story that's being told in New Mutants, I think it's really important, and I really enjoy it. It's disappointing to me that the main X title is not my favorite book. I've never had this experience where the main X title is not my favorite book. So it's disconcerting. And now when Hellions goes away, I'm kind of like, okay, what's going to be my favorite book? I don't know.
Well,
maybe X-Force, because a lot of people don't like X-Force, but I really love it. I really
is so good.
I think it's great.
X-Force is like Homeland. It's like no, it's really like there's a mole, like no one really trusts each other. Wolverine has a 3-man group for some reason where he should have like 6 or 7 like heavy hitters, but I don't know. And they made Beast the evil Cookie Monster.
I mean, Beast has been evil for a long time.
Well,
so.
okay, he's been evil adjacent. Okay, now, has he been petty? Yes. Has he been like? No, I should say he was petty. He was being petty. Like with bringing back the original 5, that was
well,
petty.
And now he's been.
He listened to Wolverine's advice,
but he's definitely genocidal and is not apologetic for it at all. He can't, if you can sleep at night after you've.
Well, then you don't like Mystique. Hello. Sounds like your phone is breaking up. Like that.
I am breaking up a bit.
Oh, I was gonna say, then you don't like Mystique because Mystique's a mass murderer. There are plenty of mass murderers, but with Beast, man, I'm giving up a little bit of my defense. With Beast, he listened to Wolverine. Wolverine told him, because you feel safe, you're a target, and there's always going to be predators. And Beast took that to heart. And this is why Wolverine should not be talking to anybody. But this kind of goes along with what the Shadow King, what was going on with the New Mutants and Shadow King. The New Mutants are saying like, oh, we're not just predator and prey. It's like, no. Okay, yeah, that's really cool to think about, but you two are, just because you guys are thinking higher doesn't mean everybody else is. You have to be a predator in order. It's Wu-Tang said it best: protect your neck. You gotta just because you guys are on a higher existence doesn't mean like everybody else will. Like, you still have to deal with these people who want to tear you down. Sorry.
Yeah, but and I'm sensitive to what Beast did in Terra Verde, because I know what happens in real life in Central and South American countries. And he has no remorse at all for what he did. And Wolverine, the thing about Wolverine is that Wolverine is a killer, but he owns it. And he can sleep at night. Wolverine can definitely sleep at night, but not always. Wolverine has nightmares, and he has a conscience about it. Like, it's one thing to kill somebody in the heat of battle, but it's another thing to destroy an entire country and then turn around and use that behind your friends' backs. Like, Emma was right to call him out. So that's all. I mean, and that's where I keep landing that same spot. Like,
if he would have won. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, like is what Beast has done moral? Right? Like, was it a good decision? Like, what is really the fallout if he hadn't done what he did? But he slaughtered literally every man, woman, and child in that entire country. And I just don't see how, it's like when the US dropped the atomic bomb. Mm-hmm. How do we reconcile that? And a lot of us were not okay with that. I mean, yes, it ended the war.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't be proud of what we did. No. Beast is proud. He's like, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did it, and Xavier knows it. He ain't told me nothing.
Right. Yeah, I totally get that. What Beast has done is deplorable. Like, the Terra but we got to remember with the Terra Verde, they were planning on attacking them already. He just kind of like took control. And yeah, that thing happened at the pyramid that killed everybody, but that wasn't Beast's intention. Like, he didn't do that.
But he started something, and then he let it go, and then he covered it up.
Yeah, he did.
Like, and he's not sorry. And he had certain intentions, but this is one of the drawbacks of what he's going through right now. He has so much hubris, he can't even see when he's wrong.
He's really showing that he is a beast.
He is. And that's something I always loved about Beast, is that he wasn't like, he tried so hard. He was a gentle person. Yeah. He had a good heart. He loved his friends. He loved his mama. Now I'm like, Edna, come get your boy. Come get your boy.
Yeah, but you also got to remember, for a lot of those years, he was really depressed. He kept on trying to find out cures, how to reverse his condition. He got chloroformed and no one noticed. And then he went back to his toxic ex, who broke the story of the legacy virus, and then broke up with him because he mutated a little bit and it made her feel weird. Over an answer machine. And then he got beaten by, like he was Rodney King, by his student who was being controlled by Xavier's sister. Yeah. I see he's been depressed for a long time, and I think he's more angry. This anger has turned into hubris, because he's like, okay, I'm the smartest person around. It's time for me to show it. and he's making mistakes. If he would have had successes from the beginning, no one would be saying anything about it. No one. They'd be like, well, you did save the day though. Like you did,
but he's not even doing
to save
that.
everybody. Like,
yeah, but he's not even doing that. And
no.
It's sometimes I do believe sometimes the ends justify the means.
Yeah.
None of this is justifying anything.
I mean the Reavers, they came, like, without Beast, the Reavers came through their house, killed a bunch of people. And they came through a couple of times. And now Beast is like, okay, he needs somebody, he needs a fresh pair of eyes or something. He needs a military leader. Like, Cable. Get Cable.
Beast needs a girlfriend to distract him from his stupidity.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that, because there's one person on that island. Actually, they're not on the island. Who really needs to give him a call, not because she wants him to lay down that purple cookie eater, but she also has a couple of his kids. Abigail Brand. Abigail was pregnant last I saw her. She said,
was she?
Oh yeah, Magneto knows. Twins. Like, yeah.
Add this to my things of Google.
Yeah, look it up. I swear. I was surprised too. And like, I'm like, okay, I can totally see Abigail hiding her kids, put them on another planet.
I mean, I think she would definitely do that, because she's like, I've got to keep them away from this stupid motherfucker.
No. I think she needs to call him and say, hey, I want some blue snoo snoo. And he should be like, yes, because Sage is not trying to give me any kind of play. Also, how is Sage suddenly so moralistic when she was the living computer? She would have been like, Chris Claremont would have been totally okay with it. Like, I get it, but you could have done this, this, and this. And also, Sage is the forgotten 6 X-Man.
She is.
No one ever talks about it. Like, she's like it's like, hey, I'm there too. Yeah, sure you were. 6 X-Man was Mimic. That's so weird. It's so sad. Okay, we've been at this for like, wow, 7-11. Nice. Red Queen of X, thank you so much. I think I'm gonna put this up today. I think I'm gonna put this up today because we talked a lot about Inferno. So but
sounds good. But thank you for having me.
Thank you. I like it's been fun. You've been a dream. You've been
thank you.
Even with the storms. The damn storms. Damn you, this is why Black Panther left you. Oh, you never wanted to have. You always had to have the last word.
Well, she deserves to have the last word, but no. But yeah,
Forge dropped her. Okay, that's the one thing. She got broken up with by a crippled nerd. That's a real big loss for Storm. It's like, oh God, he broke up with me.
I think that she's better off without him, but
yeah, I know anyway. She is. I know, but she can never anybody can bring it up and she can't say anything about it because it's true. Like, hey, didn't Forge drop your ass?
All right. Well,
thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
1407 Gray Malkin Lane, signing out.